Today we are refelting a shed roof. There's been some damage in the recent winds. Let's get stuck in. So the first task is going to be to take off these fascia boards and this guttering so that we can get the old felt off in preparation for the new felt. It's pretty important that when you take the fascia board off, you try to not damage the actual timbers, obviously depending on how what sort of state they're in. I was lucky on this one, they were screwed up, so they came off with an impact driver nice and easy. If they're nailed up, then you will need a hammer and a chisel and a hammer and a crowbar. Now we have the fascia off, it's time to get the guttering off. This is a really simple operation. Just unclips. Unclip the joiner. Now that we have the actual felt off the roof, you can see this customer has a plastic sheet as an underlay. Well, we are going to be using felt adhesive, so unfortunately it won't stick to this, so this does need to come off. If you are just going to reuse felt nails or staples, then this sheet can stay on, but you need to make sure that it's really dry and that underneath it is dry. Now that we have the plastic sheet off, we just need to make sure that we get any existing clout nails out and any debris. Now it's time to cut your felt. So measure the overall length of the roof plus overhang. So what we've done here is we've marked each of our ends with a little cut, and then we've folded it on our cut line to create a crease for us to cut along. We like to use scissors when we're cutting our felt, but you can use a Stanley knife, just make sure it's nice and sharp. If, however, you get halfway through and you struggle with the scissors, just start cutting back from the other side. Once the felt's been cut, it's a good idea just to lay it out on the floor and let it naturally untwist. Once the roof is clear and dry, we mark our first sheet of felt. Our sheets are 1 metre wide and we need a 100mm overhang, so we've marked 900 up from the edge on both edges, and in the centre we'll draw a straight line between the two with a level, and then we will apply the adhesive up to that line. As you can see, we've marked both sides for both first sheets. When laying felt, you lay from the outside and work your way up in layers. Before you fix the felt down, it's always a good idea to lay it out, make sure you've got the correct overhang on all of your edges. Now that it's in the right place and you're happy with it, it's nice and flat, there's no ridges, nothing like that, roll the felt back halfway and apply the adhesive. So now we've applied the adhesive to the roof. It's time to roll that over and then do the other side. Once you've unrolled it, with a clean roller, just roll over, push out any air bubbles just to make sure it adheres nicely. As you can see, we've got one side done with staples in just to hold it until the adhesive sets. Now get the last sheet on. So we're back day 2. We didn't manage to get everything finished last night before it got dark. So now that the felt's on and secure, what we need to do now is take care of the edges. What we need to do is fold this under, because as you can see we're fixing it right to the underneath. So we fold that there, and the line where it touches the wood, we will be cutting. So we will be cutting just along there, and cutting this little excess piece off here, and then that will fold round lovely, finish off. We'll cut the excess off. It's just a case of stapling through there, fold that over and staple up. This is what we're aiming for once it's done, ready to take the fascia. Now that the corners and the eaves are done, it's time to put the fascias back on. As you can see, there's been a build-up of debris over the years. We give it a nice clean off with a brush and reattach. Now it's time to put the gutters back on, now that the fascias are on. So what we need to do now is just give them a quick clean out, brush out any rubbish into a bag and reattach. Now that the gutter end and the fascias are back on, the roof's nice and felted, it's time to clean up all of our mess, everything that came off.